Hello golfers, welcome back to JD Golf TV, your home for playing better faster. Today's lesson comes at the request of one of our viewers who asked about this shift, turn, and lift. Although he didn't ask about the lift portion of it, the shift and turn motion, and well, he asked me to do it in parts, explain it, see how it works, and see how to learn it to play better golf. Not just make a cool looking body motion, but be able to use that body motion and then hit golf shots with it. And sometimes when we try to make a swing improvement, we forget that we still have to use the tool to project the face and club so that the golf ball goes where you like it. So let's get after it. I will link this to other videos that describe the ground reaction forces right about here. And hopefully you'll go through this. We're going to get a little tiny bit in the weeds. And again, for my golf pro buddies that watch this, if you have suggestions, put them in the comments, please. Folks will love it. If you have questions, ask the questions. I will do my best to answer them. So I've had force plates. This is just a pressure plate from Swing Catalyst. I've had force plates for many years now. And well, I just love them because it tells me very quickly that, hey, I could get better club delivery or better club speed or better safety, reduced injury, that is, by changing the way somebody interacts with the ground. Now, what are those? We have shifting, which you might say is going back like this. Now, I want you to see this. This is marching, and that is not the same as an actual, like a speed skater, shift this way. That's shifting. But wait a minute, from this view, there is another use along the ground, we'll call that horizontal, of front and backward. So we have along the target line, that's the shift toward or away from the target. And then we have the shift this way, which actually turns out to be a horizontal force, but it's a rotation. It's going to induce torque. You happen to see, so the front foot goes this way, the back foot opposes it, and that's how we take the cap off of a water bottle, for instance. You have your finger and your thumb using opposing forces just like that, folks, and you create a rotation. That is how it works. The lift is pretty darn simple, and that is you're actually unweighting when you go down so that now you can push up against the ground. And these three motions happen in a sequence. And I'm going to tell you right now, that sequence turns out to be really important. If they're out of order, you may find yourself losing power and worsening your club delivery, contact, face, and path. So the actual sequence is shift, turn, lift. And they are terribly tied together. In a professional golfer, not like the old coachy, it's like that. It's an instant. And we are going to learn how to do some of that. Okay, you got me so far? Shift, turn, lift. There's some pressure in the feet. Pressure's different. And if you've seen me use the Swing Catalyst here, pressure is just where the pressure is vertically down into the ground under your feet. Okay? Fine. That's all it is. Pressure is not weight. Until I stand perfectly still, then pressure and weight are the same thing. But once I start moving, my weight, my mass, and my pressure can be going in opposite directions. Go figure. Whew, here we go. Goodness gracious, that was 4 minutes on gibberish. Sorry. This is how I believe this works. Shift, turn, lift. All my evidence on the Swing Catalyst force plates says shift, turn, lift. There's one guy on tour that doesn't exhibit that, and he is much bigger than me and hits it nowhere, and he's just pure turn. We're going to talk about what they do. So the shifting motion, I will tell you that you might shift back to the backswing. You might shift toward the target on the downswing. And I will tell you that there is some energy being put into the ground just by this motion. And by the way, you don't have to actually move over here to shift. Watch this. Wait a second. I'm more on my front foot now, but I can still press on that ground. Okay, let me just show you this real quick. So you can see my feet, toes, heels, right foot, left foot. Okay, I can have my body more toward my left side and still push off. You saw the pressure grow under my right foot as I push off. Don't forget that, because that little move right there is what is related to the shift. But in my opinion, there's a little bit of horsepower coming out of the shift, but I think it's minor. What I think the shift does is orient this fine body. And yes, you get to look at these beautiful legs. Sweet. Oh, put your sunscreen on. Any case, the shift motion orients the body to help me move the bottom of the swing forward, or like we like to say around here, the divot follows your hiney around. If I don't shift forward, I might bottom out back here. That's why you'll see some golfers on tour. Someone asked me this last night. How come that ball's so far back in the stance? Well, that's because some golfers have on a driver much more twist than they have shift. Victor Hovland. You can see Scottie Scheffler's right foot pull out this way. Goodness knows how that guy finds his golf ball. The guy's a genius. His right foot pulls out this way. His left foot is pushing this way, and the ground pushes him back, and he jumps right out of it. It is the darndest thing. But actually, the motion, the force he's putting into the ground are correct. Why does his foot, either foot, move like that? Because there's not enough friction. He's not got much weight on that foot. Is there anything wrong with it? Well, no, it's a correct use. Maybe he could hit it even farther if he had his right, more pressure, more of his mass over his right foot. Maybe. I don't know. He's pretty damn good. That said, here we are swinging, and we would have to admit that the more I get myself over this way, whether or not I rotate too, the easier it is to hit the ground over here. Folks, if you're going to argue with me on that one, I don't think you have a fighting chance to argue with that. That's just a fact. That's like saying if I stand over here, I have a better chance of hitting the golf ball first than if I stand over here. Got it? Okay. So the shift starts the motion, puts a little energy into it. It moves us, orients the body for better club delivery, move the low point forward. Again, driver, I don't know. Irons for sure. And then there is a turn. Now, wait a minute. The shift has a second job. The shift gets us to move forward, orient club delivery, but it gets our mass more on top of the front shoe. And I would say toward the front. You see that in there? It's going to the front of my left foot. That is really cool because guess what? It turns out that pushing off the front of the foot is just about the only way we're really going to get this thing moving. There goes the foot. I just pushed my foot that way. And what you might do to me to help learn this, look, the shift is easy. You might go push out. Now look at, I'm going to go over here. I'm going to push into the shoe. The knee and the foot are kind of going together, and I'm pushing out. That is, yes, that's an advanced motion. You've seen the rocker board things, right? That tip back and forth. This is rocking, but when you do this, that right foot isn't doing anything. I'm just tilting. So I'm not putting much force in there, but I am orienting myself at least. But what we want is we want a push off that foot. I am driving this foot this way. And interestingly, I'm not just spinning it out. A lot of people just spin, but it's not. It's push this way. This is why you see so many professional golfers extend this leg, because how do you push? You push this way like you're skating. You don't push this way. That'd be silly, of course. All right. push. Now I've got myself over this way. Now I have to use this front of that left shoe to pop myself over this way. It's a push pop. Yes, you got to be old like me to remember what a push pop is. Here we go. Dunigan, you got to be kidding. How am I going to do this with a golf ball? Don't do it with a ball. We're going to go back. Push pop. Ooh, I did it. Oh, and I fell over. Must be moving something. I'm going to go back. Push pop. Ooh, I got all the way out. Now you can see how far I rotated. I wasn't trying to rotate. I was trying to drive this foot off there. And oh my goodness, I can't help but rotate. Good. Sometimes I have to cue rotation with a rotational cue. They're in there somewhere on the YouTube. Sometimes I can just use the foot like that. So what about trying to learn it with a golf ball in the way? 1, be prepared to hit some really cool looking golf shots, folks. But I'm going to give it a shot. I might miss this, and it is not going to bother me. This is one of the things that drives me nuts in my own job. Look it. You are either practicing to learn or preparing to play. You are not doing both at the same time, especially when you're working on something this challenging. So I'm going to practice. That means I don't care where the ball goes. I don't care if I hosel rocket this. As long as I don't hit the bending unit or the computer or either TV, I don't care. I want to see myself move, so I'm going to use some video. Swing Cattle software, here we go. All right, so I'm going to go back, push, pop. Oh, nope, didn't do it. I didn't do it. Let's see. Oh, I did a pretty decent job of that, but here's what I felt there. Dunigan, I didn't feel the push first. I think my brain just said, hey, dude, you're old. You're going to have to slow this crap down. You need to slow this down to actually learn it. However, we'll have a look at something cool because you might see something that is useful. Okay, here's the kid. There's a backswing going. And you can see during the backswing, I've definitely put some pressure into my back foot. Now, you're going to see me push out. There goes the pressure. And you can see here, the left knee is going, but I didn't really feel myself drive this right shoe hard as I wanted to in this direction. I was trying to pull, I want to try to pull the carpet apart right there. Okay? But I did get into the left. There's the push. Okay, well, at least with the left side. I like that. You're going to see that in so many good golfers. It's almost funny. Now, one thing also is notice that the upper body went with the lower body. That is what I call the downshift. Okay, and this is, folks, this is such a big deal. All right, we're going to put a little baby line on that shoulder right there as best as I can. And you're going to see a little, there we go. And it went down and toward the target a bit. Okay, that's the downshift. You've seen me do that before. Critical move. If you don't have that in your game, you're going to find out how hard golf can be, especially with an iron. So I'm pushing this way. The ground is pushing me back the opposite direction. That's the reaction force. Okay? As I do that, I'm letting the whole golfer go. Don't be afraid. Staying behind the ball is a bunch of crap, folks. There he goes. Now, right about here, folks, I got to start popping. I call it popping the popliteal fossa. That is the pit between in the back of your knee. I need to push that up in an instant, like this. Now, it's not going to straighten until after the golf ball. Okay, but it's in the process of straightening. Now, you can see here, one of the looks that I really like to see is I have got pretty much that left shoulder. Whoa, that was cool. Right on top of that left foot by ball contact. Now, that's really cool. Now, I did not do anything with the raising the left shoulder up that way. And there's no way I can do that, folks. There's no way I can put that into there. It's too much, too complex. I have a very small brain, so I got to do it slow. So that's the shift and turn. And our viewer definitely was watching Dr. Kwan, whom I know. I did go to visit him many, many years ago before he became famous in Texas, and he was a very good guy. And cool stuff. It's the shift turn movement. So basically speaking, it's back, shift, turn, back, shift, turn. However, sometimes you have to activate the actual pushing off to let you turn. Sometimes I'll put a stick in somebody's belt loops and go, okay, back, move that stick down toward the target, shift, turn, then turn it away. Shift, turn it away. That is a really, really cool idea. I'll show you in just a second. This is the JD Golf Speed Stick. It's a putting training aid that goes along with my putting training program and putting book. Yes, go ahead and buy that sucker. It's called Hole It. It's really cool. It has mental game to games you can play to learn skills, stroke stuff, all that good stuff. But we're going to actually employ this trusty stick for our golf swing now. You may have noted that when I say the words, there's a rhythm to them. Please do not underestimate the importance. So I'm going to slow the back. It's just like turning the stick around backward. So you can call it turn. I call it back. Doesn't matter. Just get over this away somewhere. Doesn't have to be full at all. By the way, if you do this, do not leave any length sticking out of this belt loop. It's going to go up in your arm. You're going to love that. Feels beautiful. I may have learned that the hard way. Here we go. So back, there's the push. I felt that off the right foot, not just leaning left, which is more passive. Back, shift, turn. See that stick go around? Now, I hit that ball in the face, God knows how. Let's watch this one. Beautiful. That is fantastic. I'm going to slow that sucker down just a little bit for you. See if you can detect the pieces. There's back. Drive, there goes the knee two, and pop. Beautiful, beautiful. Not easy, but not impossible to learn. However, if you go too fast, you'll go half fast. Thank you very much. Okay. So it's back, shift, turn. Ooh. Now you'll notice that my left toes came right up off the ground, just like you see on tour all the time. That was really nifty. Check this out. There's the downshift and the pop. Good. Now what I want to make sure I do is that I do get enough into the front shoe, because I don't want to just spin off my back foot. Although if you're super good at turning, you could be more back-footed, because if I turn more, it helps move the low point forward as well. However, got to be that coordinated and that flexible. Okay. Back, shift, turn. Okay, that was even better. That was a little Scottie Scheffler. Watch our right foot on this one. I drove off it and was able to pull that sucker backward. That right foot pull back, and that is a wicked, wicked cool helper to learn this. I'm not using my golf shoes because I want to be able to see my feet slide. These are caddy shoes, super slick on the bottom. So once again, that's a really, really cool use of this. And I promise you, with repeated practice, you can learn this. Now I will say this, on the backswing, you're seeing a very small backswing. I will stretch out that turn more and more to create more backswing. I'm trying not to just lift back, trying to get myself to turn more. But I can't coordinate that at a very fast or very big swing. So I'll progress little bits up. I might even try this one. All right, make like a half swing. All right, back, shift, turn. No, I didn't like it. Did not like it. Okay, there's a back. There's a shift and turn. I didn't like it. I didn't feel like I used my right foot that time. I went bigger and faster. I should just go bigger, not faster, as I try to assemble these. And just like learning how to play guitar. Yes, I play guitar. You learn how to play guitar, you start slowly and get faster because you're more competent, not because you're more faster. Here we go. So I'm going to go back, shift. There we go. I was able to assemble it that time. That was pretty cool. Got the whole thing. And notice, I haven't watched where the ball went. Not even one time. Back, shift, pop. Oh, that's a beautiful thing. So that's how you learn the shift turn sequence. However, I left one thing out, but you're going to see it right here. Absolutely part of this motion. There's a nice turn. Point that stick around, Dunigan. Now there's the push off and the drive down, downshift. As I pop that knee, guess what I'm also kicking in now, folks? I'm kicking in the vertical force. Yay! That was a trick. Oh, look at that. How's that impact look? That is a thing of beauty. I don't know where that boy's looking at, but I don't even watch the ball anyways. That movement kicks in both the rotation and the vertical. So there you have it. A really cool, simple, not easy drill, if you will, or I call it a sequence or progression for learning the shift, turn, and lift sequence. It's not easy, even though it's simple. You can get it. If you're going faster than I am and I'm the pro, you got a problem. Slow your butt down and get this right. Next lesson, we'll learn how to use that motion and get the face and path to project the ball to the target while making a new move, which means you better get after this and practice it up.